haven't hit the petabyte volumes yet. We had in my previous org, I used to run a much larger multi-petabyte but here we have different challenges. So Zolve essentially is a digital-only bank, right? And it's a very different business from we underwrite people from various countries using who are traveling into US. So traditional US underwriting is take the FICO score and then underwrite.
Right.
Here they don't have the FICO score, or we underwrite people who do not have proper credit. So how do we get data from various sources, various alternate sources, and then underwrite them? And it is different for different countries. Certain countries you can actually take that country's sort of credit bureau score. Certain countries you cannot trust that score, and how do you normalize that and things like that. Same for experiences and things like that. So for example, US doesn't have anything like an UPI, it's still ACH. So how do you balance out fraud with experience? So if you're doing a simple thing like moving money from A to B, how do you use data and the decision making to figure out what is the risk of the transfer, cost of the transfer, and the speed of the transfer? Right, hundreds of variables needs to be figured out. Otherwise, you'll be hit with the ACH return, and that's a direct loss to you. And in addition to that, so what we do is, and how we handle data is in everything a lot of the panelists here have mentioned. One additional thing we have is also locality of the data. Being global, and also the problem is that we have to adhere to regulations of multiple countries.
Yes.
And that's where data locality also comes in, right? Certain data needs to be in India, certain data needs to be in the United States, certain data. So we operate out of multiple data centers, and you cannot move the data, but you can move aggregates, you can move, So that becomes another challenge. Also, we offer from the data lake how we do that, and in addition to we also offer multiple levels of how you access the data in other than the traditional OLAP use cases or the data science use cases. How you do that. We also offer customer analytics and all these things. And that if you offer analytics on the app and all these things, you potentially need to give millisecond analytical queries. So how do you offer that and things like that? And when you and because it's a fintech, the quality of the data is extremely important. Right? Not only the single source of the truth, but every single data point which is coming in, how do you test the data, right? So in the ingestion pipeline, you also have to
worry about the veracity of the data.
Veracity of the data, and you have to actively test the data, right? So those things, just by the nature of the business, we are forced to build in, right? Hopefully the systems are built in that can handle scale, because we ensure that we store data in the correct format, which takes the least amount of space. It's not write amplified. The ingestion pipelines are all incremental and things like that, but those are really standard. But the difference is that locality and how we serve, and so it's interesting, and I think as everybody said, most of the principles remain the same. You have to adhere to the basics, and things will fall in place.